Hey everyone, thanks for having me. So I have always been part, and I've always felt very involved in the Asian American community. I went to, well, I grew up in Irvine, and I went to UC Berkeley, which is like 40% Asian, and woo, go Bears! And it's probably more than 40% now, probably. I haven't checked the numbers yet, but um, I've gotten a lot from this community, and more specifically, will never forget the wonderful feeling that I had going to downtown LA to a screening for Crazy Rich Asians, and there were no white people in the room. And I also remember that we were all like collectively sighing when Michelle Yeoh leans in and is like, "You will never be good enough." But I do feel like our community still has a long way to go. And I wonder if it's because of a lack of curiosity. And by lack of curiosity, I just mean that sometimes I think we can shut down feedback that can help us, that can help our community become a more all-encompassing community that allows for more nuance and complexity. So I have a few anecdotes just to illustrate this point. So I was on an Asian American forum, and someone posted that the Ken Jeong Netflix special, he didn't like it made him uncomfortable, and he listed a few reasons why. He listed a few reasons why. And I think over 50% of the comments were like, "Oh, you're so sensitive. You're so like, what kind of thin-skinned person do you have to be to be offended by comedy? It's PC culture ruining comedy." And oh, are Asian Americans even oppressed? Are we just creating our own oppression at this point? And so I'm wondering if right now you're thinking, okay, well, based off this anecdote, does Chris want us to be more positive? Kind of. I'll get to that point in a second. So there was another instance where I was in a chat, and I was sharing an experience about how somebody really came for me, like in another forum that I did care about. This person called me a toxic progressive, and he called me, he insulted me for where I used to work. And the first person that came out to talk about it basically said, well, you know, it's good that you have a different perspective, and it's also important that, yeah, it's just good that you have a different perspective, and she also said that, let's see, she was saying that there was a different perspective, and that it's important to just take in different perspectives, because, but the problem is that, oh, right, so she said that it's important to also to remember to not react so hard when people say mean things to you. And for me, I was like, okay, when someone insults me, I don't take that as a different perspective. Also, if you think about it, she also basically told me to be less sensitive, but in a nice way, but in like a wrapped up in niceness. And I see this happen a lot in Asian American creative spaces too, where someone will post something, and then the comment section, the public comment section, it will all be like, "Oh yes, girl, yes, you slay. Asian Americans killing the game. Congratulations, hell yeah." And then I'll slowly see in other private conversations, people being like, "Man, her shit was whack. It was like all right. I don't really know what she was thinking when she was posting that." I feel like we have this problem of positive deflection. And by positive deflection, I mean that we're driven by this fear that we've made so much progress as a community, and so if I say something wrong or do something wrong, then it'll set us back, and so I'm just gonna sweep things under the rug. Kind of like the way that our parents used to do it. So, yeah, like, I see a lot of people in both online and offline talk about how, oh, you know, this is a really special space, so I don't really wanna ruin the mood. I don't really wanna make someone feel bad. I don't really wanna, yeah, like, because I think there's this collective understanding that we all have been told at one point by our parents that in some way we aren't good enough. And so we're all very scared to bring that up if we give some type of critique or feedback to each other. But my whole thing is that when have people ever improved from just positive feedback alone? That's actually extremely dangerous. I think that it's very important for us to, I guess, maybe reconsider our relationship with what empowerment even means, and to remember that empowerment is also about challenging people. And don't be a dick about it, but like to challenge people and to ask people like, oh, like, why did you make this choice? Like, I'm really curious to know, and here are my opinions about this. And yeah, obviously support is important too. And positivity is obviously, there's always space for positivity, but there is also a way to give positive, constructive feedback. I feel like our community can be very disjointed because, well, a lot of reasons, because Asian Americans, the word Asian American covers a lot of motherlands. And also, there's also the privilege that comes with being East Asian. But I also feel like it comes from this lack of curiosity, probably from our parents. I remember my parents told me that they would only let me pursue entertainment because they wanted me to see how hard I would fail. I'm good. So, the thing is, though, that it did hurt me when she said that to me first. And the thing is that how could I not onboard that? That's a lack of curiosity if I ever heard it. So my whole point is I say more because I care. And I think it's extremely short-sighted to think of empowerment as support as just positivity. I want to encourage everybody here to reject that notion, because I think we deserve better, and I think that we can do better. And I just hope that one day we can take the phrase, "you can always do better," and dissociate it from the sense of "you will never be good enough," and reassociate it with the sense of, no, I know that we have infinite potential, and I trust that we can all help each other reach that infinite potential. Thank you.